about the types of companies that are actually developing drugs, particularly those that maybe haven't been acquired by big pharma. Those sort of companies, they've been very, very strong scientifically. They've maybe been very strong from a clinical perspective, getting the drug product developed and through clinical approvals, through the various phases of a clinical program. And all of a sudden they do start to see the finishing line of getting approval from the authorities, whether it's the FDA or the EMA. And once they get that, once they start to see that yes, this is going to be commercialized, this product's going to be approved, these small companies face the very significant challenge of bringing new skills into the organisation, business skills. How do I do this? What is the regulation in each of those countries? How do I understand that? How do I abide by it? How do I get my product in? What rules do I need to abide by when I do go in? Because again, where am I going to launch my product? I maybe have 1,000, maybe 2,000-3,000 patients distributed across Europe. How do I decide how's the right way to get my product to them? Do I pack it and then distribute it out to them? Do I talk to people about an appropriate business model that gets the drug product to those patients properly? Because again, you have to think in terms of maybe having a drug product on a shelf with an expiry date, and if you don't use the product in time, then it's wasted. And a lot of these orphan drugs are extremely expensive drugs, so therefore you have to think in terms of the most efficient way of managing inventories and distributing the drug product throughout those countries. So they're the sort of things that we in Almac sit down with clients and walk them through those challenges, and then we essentially come up with a business model or a distribution model that fixes that for them. Again, when you talk to an orphan drug company, you get down to sort of practicalities of it. How are we going to pack the drug product? What sort of labelling needs to go onto the drug product? What sort of languages need to be abided by? There are strange things called blue box labels that are unique to each country. How do you design a pack so that there's room for a blue box label? How do you design the pack so that when the patient gets the product that they know what to take, when to take it, so there's compliance issues there. Again, they're all sort of business challenges that are going to be very unique to the developer of the drug that maybe they're seeing for the first time, because this may be the first time they've ever had a commercial drug to launch and to get out onto the marketplace. So you've got all those sort of issues, and I'm maybe trying to walk you through the different sort of things that they've got to think about. So you get the stage where you've brought your drug product in, you've got somewhere to store it, you have a QP that can do all the analytical testing of the batch when it's there. You've got a team that maybe can advise you on pack design and artwork design. And then you've got to say to yourself, okay, how do I physically get the product out there? How do you identify where my patients are, my customers are, to use business vernacular? And you don't always get that in orphan drugs, because people talk very, very closely about their patients as opposed to customers, because of the tightness of this industry, this niche pharmaceutical market. You get to know your patients, you know where they are. How do you physically get the drug to them when you've identified them? And then you're into a distribution model. How do you place orders? Do you do that through hospitals? Do you do that through GPs? Do you do that through clinics? Physically, how do you get a distribution system in place? How do you identify clinicians or doctors in different countries throughout Europe that can legitimately place orders on your contract services company to deliver the drug product to the patient, whether the patient is in Greece or Germany or France, wherever it may be.